Hello everyone, my name is Vishal and I'm back again with another video and today I'm going to talk about the visa processes for the students basically who want to come to Australia. We all know that there are basically two types of visas everybody talks about. The first one is the student visa and then there is another one they called work visa. But today I'm just gonna talk about student visas, and I've split that down in two parts. The first one is the requirements, and then the expenses. Like, what are the requirements if you want to come to Australia as a student? And then second one is how much it's gonna cost if you coming to Sydney, Australia. The reason I've chosen Sydney because Sydney is the most expensive city in Australia, and if I give you some insights of how much it's gonna cost you to stay in Sydney, you can compare that with other cities, for example Melbourne and Adelaide, which is like always less than what you spend here in Sydney because Sydney is the most expensive one. Okay, okay, so let's talk about the requirements first. So the first one is you should be able to complete your school in your country. For example, if you have completed your 12th grade in your country, then on the basis of your marks and your background in 12th class, you will be able to apply for graduate, like for a degree in Australia. And if you get any admission in any university or institute, you will be able to come here. And then another option is if you have any degree in your country and you want to come here for another degree, you can apply for on the basis of that degree. And another third option is if you have any diploma which is accepted in Australia, because there are a lot of diplomas which are not accepted. So the if you have any diploma which are accepted, on the basis of that diploma you can apply for student visa. Okay, and then the most important one is the fourth one, I would say, the English test. We have IELTS and PDE, and another one is TOEFL. You can give any of them, but you should have the minimum required score which your university or institution has asked for. Some of the university they ask for 6 bands, some of the universities they ask for 6.5 bands, so it depends, so if you have that required band, and you can probably start your application for your student visa. So now how can you start your application? Okay, for that, what you have to do is you need to find an agent. Probably it's a good idea, I would say, to find an agent. If you go with an agent who are registered with particular universities in Australia, they wouldn't charge you for your application. The reason is because they get paid from the university, from like they get some percentage of your fee what you pay to your university. So you do not have to pay to them, so you go to your basically agent, and then that agent will tell you the details and he will apply to the universities on your behalf. And when you get admission, not admission exactly, yeah, the university or institution will send you a confirmation of enrollment letter on your name, and on the basis of that enrollment letter you can apply for your visa. Now for the visa process there are some points I would like to mention. You will need your confirmation of enrollment, you need your English test scores, and then you have to go through a medical examination. And while applying for your visa you have to show your funds in your parents accounts if your parents are sponsoring you, or in your account if you are sponsoring yourself on your own. And then your identity proofs, your parents identity proofs, your detailed information about your family and all that. And after applying your visa, you'll get your visa within like 4 or 5 working weeks. So when you get your visa, you can come to Australia even if you have like even if your classes are not started yet. You can come to Australia if you have the visa. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much for the visa process requirements. And now let's move to the expenses in Sydney. Okay, I'm gonna talk about expenses in Sydney only, because Sydney is the, as I mentioned before, Sydney is the most expensive one, and you can compare that with, just think that the if you go to another city, not in Sydney, these expenses would be less than what I'm telling you here. Okay, so here I'm just gonna talk about the rent, travel, and then the food as well. Okay, so talking about the rent, it costs you around, like, you will spend around 60 to 70% on rent, and then 15 to 20% on the food, and then 5 to 10% on travel. I'm not going to talk about your university fees, because it depends on which university are you going. So it varies. For some universities it's like expensive, for some universities it's not that much. So you have to decide which university or institute you want to go. Okay, so talking about the rent, if you're living in the university apartment, it costs you around $280 to $450 per week. Okay, but if you're living in a single room, it costs you around 250 to 280. And if you're sharing that room with someone else, for example, if you have a roommate, then that's gonna cost you around $150 to $210 per week. Okay, and the food, which costs you around 15 to 20%, it costs you around $50 per week. Okay, and that's for everything. Like, if you even if you're living single or double, it costs you around the same. Now, talking about the travel, I have divided it into three parts. For example, if you're living nearby, okay, maybe in the campus, you only go out for like 2 or 3 days, or maybe on the weekend 2 days. So it costs you around $10 per week. And if you're living far from the university and you have to come to uni like 2 3 days or maybe 4 days, so it costs you around 20 to 22 $23. Okay, and if you're living very far from the uni, so you have to basically come to uni, take the bus or train, so it will cost you around 30 to $40. Okay, per week. I'm talking about per week. So considering the total amount, I'm not including the travel, because it depends if you're living in campus nearby or far from the uni, so you can add that later. So total excluding the travel, it's gonna cost you, for the uni apartment, it's gonna cost you 340 to 510 dollar. Okay, and then for the single room, it's gonna cost you 320 to $350. And if you're living in a double room, it's gonna cost you around 230 to $280 per week. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for listening me, and I hope this information would be useful for you if you're planning to come to Australia, maybe in Sydney or some other city. And if you like this video, please give it a like, and do comment if you have any another question, or if you have any another idea for me to make a video on. You can suggest me in your comments. And if you want to get help during your visa or any question, you can send me on Facebook. I have given the link of Facebook channel down in the description. And if you like it, please like it, share it with your friends, so that it could be useful for them as well. Subscribe my channel, and please hit the bell icon, so that whenever I post a video, you get the notification that the video has been posted, and you come here and watch it. And also you can message me on Instagram. I've given my Instagram link in the description, and that's my personal Instagram. You can message me on, and I will probably get back to you within a day, because I use my Instagram more than my Facebook. Okay, so you can ask me questions on anywhere. I'll get back to you, but it's a request, guys. Please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, so that you can get the notification for the further videos. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.